Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I thought, what a better day than today to start a beautiful dough called a sourdough. Sourdough bread takes quite a long time to make, and we've got quite a long time right now. So I thought I'd start by showing you guys my starter doughs. Sometimes these starter doughs take up to 1 week to make. So I've got a couple of them that I've already started here. And the whole idea is that we can make these starter doughs instead of using yeast. So when we use the starter doughs without yeast, we end up with a dough that looks a little bit like this. I'll show you. And what this does is it actually tames down the gluten and makes it a lot easier to digest for certain people that have a hard time digesting gluten. And it's by far one of the most delicious breads you'll ever taste. So right now I'm in about stage 3, but I thought I would film the rest of it, and then I'll show you guys how to do this part, and then maybe I'll just post a recipe and you guys can make it at home, and you can send me your pictures and let me know how the bread tasted. So right now I made this bread yesterday, and all this is right now is 1,000 grams of all-purpose flour, 777 grams of water, 150 grams of my starter, and I'll also post a recipe for the starter dough as well, and 20 grams of salt. So simple. I put it into the fridge overnight, and then this is my next step right now. Now you have to remember, this dough is very sticky. Right, so it's a bugger to work with, so you have to make sure that we use adequate amounts of flour for dusting. Not too much, but enough. So the next step that I'm going to do is just a little bit of a shaping stage. Another thing I do, a little trick, is I wet my scraper so that it doesn't stick to the dough. Beautiful. And this one will make exactly 2 beautiful loaves, so I'm just going to cut it. And this is just rough, I'm not measuring it. Countertop. One that works really good for this. We'll start by just doing just a couple of, I'm just going to stretch it a little. Stretch it, stretch it. Fold, 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 fold. And it is super sticky, so I'm just going to do this. Okay, I'm just going to set this one here for a minute just so that my seam on the bottom will kind of melt in, because it needs to stay sticky. Just rub your hands in a little bit of the flour if it sticks too much. And at this point I'm not going to work them very much right now. So I'm going to take the first one and I'm just going to set it up here on my board. And I'll set them up here. These ones will sit here now for about 20 minutes, half an hour, just until I prepare the oven. So for the oven, I'm just to show you the Dutch ovens. Oh, this one's torn a little bit. Of my Dutch ovens. If you don't have a Dutch oven, just try and find something that has a lid on it, because for the first 20 minutes you want to cook them with the lid on. And I'll leave these for about 30 minutes to an hour while the oven heats up, and then I'll show you the end result. I'll see you in 5. So after the dough is sat for about 30 minutes to an hour, I still have my pans in the oven heating up. We can actually take one of the breads and we'll just check and see if it's proofed enough. I think it has. So if you check this out, and you can see if I touch it with my finger and it springs back, perfect. So now what we're gonna do, I'm gonna try and take that dough, dump it into this parchment paper, and then I'll insert it into our Dutch oven. This part is a little tricky. Put it over like so. Hopefully, I added enough flour. Look at that. I'll just brush a little bit off. Now this is the part here where we want to make any decorative slash that we want to make. Usually sourdough breads will have some kind of a decorative slash. So I'm going to do one that goes straight across like so. I'll do another one here. I'll do another one here. You want to be careful because you don't want to tear it. So sometimes I'll go in and I'll make one, and then I'll just kind of go in again and make it a little deeper, just so we can see the vein of the bread. And when it's baked, it just looks very attractive. Nice. Okay. Now I'm going to set this here. This is the part that's a little tricky now because I've got the Dutch oven that's been in the oven for about 45 minutes to an hour. So it's hot. So you don't want to burn your hands. Then what I'm going to do, carefully I should have heated the lid up as well, but I wasn't this time. Now I'll turn the oven down to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Wait for 20 minutes, then we'll take the lid off. Okay, so after 20 minutes with the lid on, we take the lid off, turn the oven down to 450, then go for about another 20 minutes. Then it should look something like that. And that is the final product. Does that look beautiful? Does that look like something that you can share with your family tonight for dinner? I think so. Enjoy. See you next week.